Over the past 2 days, we have highlighted one of Toledo's biggest issues, gun violence. For far too many families, that violence has had deadly consequences. Lead investigator Brian Duggar has that side of the story.
What we're seeing in Toledo is a gang problem.
More than 1,500 shots fired calls in Toledo in just the first 8 months of this year.
Don't move.
The average Toledoan who plays by the rules and is simply trying to, raise his kids and go to work and pay the bills and, take the kids to soccer prep. That citizen is so mathematically unlikely to be a victim of what we're talking about that it is irresponsible to think about it any other way.
But that's not always true.
He was a really good kid. He had a smile that would just light up the whole room. He could, on your worst day, he could make you laugh. Just anything. He was just such a fun kid.
911, where's your emergency?
Yeah, somebody got shot and he's in the store, Rainbow Store.
Just after 6:30 p.m., Kyrese hopped on his dirt bike and headed up Easterly, near the Weiler homes. He stopped briefly to talk to someone. As he tried to speed away, he was shot in the back. He climbed from his bike and stumbled into the Rainbow Market. His sister Kyra followed the police sirens.
I seen my brother's bike, and I seen my brother. He was laying on the floor. He had a lot of blood on him. I got out the car. I tried to run to him. When I got to him, I touched his hand. He was just looking at me like he was scared.
Kyrese Hodges' family says he played by the rules. And on March 20th, Kyrese Hodges died, another murder victim in Toledo's deadliest year.
2 people are dead in the city's latest shooting.
On November 7th, Laura Lucky and Natasha Carlisle became the city's 59th and 60th homicide victims of 2021. Apparently random victims of a shooting in the Junction neighborhood.
One is one too many.
Just days before, Mayor Wade Kapszukiewicz talked to 11 investigators. He had no idea that a success story that he proudly touted was about to suffer a tragic setback.
I will say this, our violence interrupters began their work around Labor Day of 2021. Their work has been exclusively targeted at the Junction neighborhood of Toledo. We should point out that since the violence interrupters began their work, there has not been a single homicide in the targeted neighborhood.
Now, Toledo is not alone when it comes to the surging violence. In fact, FBI data recently came out and it showed that in 2020, homicides are up 30%. And this year, the numbers aren't getting any better. But the one thing we can tell you for sure is that all the violence in Toledo is not just because of gangs. Something even the mayor now acknowledges.
I may have chosen my words poorly when if earlier this year I said that it was gang-related. The average Toledoan.
But those July words did cause an angry response from Kyrese's family.
It's just crap. It's just crap. It's just an excuse.
I don't feel like everybody who's passing here in Toledo is just gang violence. It could be such as somebody has something the other person doesn't have. Like, you don't know, if somebody sees somebody doing better, like it's a little kid, they want it.
We're doing big things.
Earlier this month, the mayor was reelected to another term in office, a term that is likely to be centered on getting answers to the gun problem. He's committed to finding those answers, even vowing to pursue outside-the-box solution. But it is a complicated problem.
Part of it is the fact that there are now more guns in America than there are human beings. Part of it is the fact that the pandemic has created an anxiety and a social detachment that wasn't there before, to say nothing of creating economic hardships that weren't there before. Some of it does have to do with mental health issues that are undiagnosed or untreated. Some of it does have to do with police resources being deployed incorrectly.
But for dozens of families, those answers will come too late.
His smile and everything, he always used to mess with me like, you always gonna love me. Like, he just always used to tell me like, I'm always gonna love him.
How would it feel if somebody took somebody else's kid away from them? somebody else's brother, somebody else's nephew. Like, people don't think like that when they're harming people. They don't know what they did to my family. They don't know what they did to me.
Reporting in Toledo, this is Brian Duggar for WTUL 11.
As the mayor said, this is a complicated problem, but our goal over the last 3 nights was to shine a light on it. You can watch the entire series right now on our WTOL 11 YouTube page. WTOL 11 will be back in just a few minutes.